Do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
There you go. Put myself on. It works a lot better. How are you, folks? Hope you're having a bloody good time of it. My glasses are filthy dirty. Where's my little cleaning rag? Don't know. Gonna have to make do with them. Hope you're doing all right. It has just started pouring rain here, and I see a note from the lovely. This is going to get messy. The lovely Aussie Sue that there is a storm over on Russell Island. Well, we've got parts of it over my way at the moment too. So if the whole thing gets a little rattly and a bit scratchy as we're going on, then I apologise. There's not much I can do about it at the moment. Right. Clean. The lovely Sandy. Hope everyone's safe and well. A lot of rain down at the donkey sanctuary. They're all locked up for the next 36 to 48 hours because donkeys do not perform well in the rain, folks. Remember that. They're dry land creatures. They don't like wet. It does bad things to their hooves. The rivers are already up, so you're tucked up and staying safe and ready. That's the way it should be. Sandy and Baz and the Donkey Sanctuary are in an area that can get isolated if the rivers come up too far, and it happens quite regularly, although not usually right about this time of the year, I wouldn't have thought. But God love you. I hope you're all safe. Connie was first in the room tonight. God love you, woman. Doing well. Looking forward to seeing you at the luncheon that is happening this Saturday at the Sundowner Motel. I've done a little bit of work. That's what the Sundowner looks like in Caboolture. Now, if you're wondering how to find it, it's 8 to 14 Aerodrome Road, Caboolture. But let me tell you, it is just off the highway, the M1. Whether you're coming north or south, you take the Caboolture Bribie Island exit and head toward Bribie Island, and it's almost immediately on your left as you get off the highway. So Connie and Alan will be coming, and I think I saw another one from Fuzzy, who said that he has booked himself and the other half in. Looking forward to catching up with everybody on Saturday. So the whole family's invited. We would like you to ring the Sundowner and just tell them that you're coming to the Voice of Freedom table. That way they'll have a table big enough for all of us. It'll just keep growing as you keep adding your names. So if you are coming, please just let the Sundowner know that you're going to be at the Voice of Freedom table, and they'll just keep adding it and making it grow, I think. And if they don't, then Greg will be down there to, well, I don't know, maybe whip his crutch. Oh, that doesn't sound good, but you know what I mean. He'll be over there making sure they get it all right for us. Looking forward to catching up with him. It's going to be bloody great. Who else do I go? Oh, we've got a new one in the house tonight. Paul, nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. Love to know how you found us, but thank you for finding us, and I'm sure we will have a little something for you. If not tonight, then, well, any other night. And tonight, well, we've got a few little crack the whip. Thank you, Watha. We've got a couple of little interesting things we're going to touch on tonight, including going to talk about something new. I touched on it last night. I'll only touch on it again tonight, even though there is a video already uploaded on the YouTube channel for it. It is nothing I produced, but it is a very interesting little cartoon if you want to go and have a look. If you don't understand Magna Carta, if you don't understand Magna Carta 1215 and the difference between 1215 and 1297, we're talking years here. Magna Carta 1297 is the one that's on display in the Australian Parliament, and it was given to us by, I want to say it was the Dutch. I could be wrong. Way back in the day, we've had it refurbed, and now it's, you know, one of 4 apparent versions of this that are deemed original. I don't know why anybody would really care. To know anything about the Magna Carta, you would know that it was a constitution essentially written for the British or English Empire. And Magna Carta 1297 is written by an Italian pope living in Italy who'd never been out of Italy, much less been to England. So I don't know why anybody would put any great faith in that. But just one of the many weird and wonderful things you can learn if you choose to. And I've decided, because there has been so much bullshit recently about sovereign and citizen and bringing the two together and branding a certain element, a certain group of people in our community, sovereign citizens. Mainstream media, by doing this, have engineered and helped to propagate a very dangerous lie. The government, I can't blame the media 100%, the government are also behind this sovereign citizen movement. Now, you cannot be sovereign and citizen. I know many of you, and in fact, I had a conversation with one of you today who says, yes, you can. No, you can't. If you truly understand what sovereign means, then you cannot be a sovereign and a citizen. The two are incompatible because they are diametrically opposed. Now, you could go to the latest dictionary and you could look up the definition of sovereign and probably citizen as well. But I guarantee you that those definitions will be changed. I would advise you to go and find the oldest dictionary you can and then compare the definitions in that dictionary to the definitions of today, because we know they change words, and more particularly, they change the definition of those words. They change them completely, and in most cases invert the meaning. So when we use that word, because they don't tell us they've changed the meaning or inverted it, when we use that word, it means something completely different. And that's why many of us who go into a court of law lose, because, as many lawyers have said, and in fact, Spiros, who used to come on the show back in the day, made it very clear to people that when you walk into a court and you start speaking, you are speaking gibberish to the judge or the magistrate, because they speak a different language. They speak their legal language. And everybody who goes into a court should walk in, if you're planning on representing yourself, you should walk in with a Black's Law Dictionary so that you can understand the words that they are using and the definitions of those words, and you might stand a better hope of getting a better outcome. But this is all about education. So I decided I'm going to start something new, and I'm going to call it For Your Consideration. And I don't know why I'm thinking for your consideration. I'll make that there. That's a bit better. For your consideration is simply, I'm going to be putting up information, facts, outlining history, and outlining, in the first instance, it won't always be about this, but in the first instance, it will be about Magna Carta, natural law, and common law. What we can do about it, what things like, well, some of the things that we will discuss in the first thing is truth and how important that is. We're going to talk about lawful dissent. We're going to talk about withdrawing consent. We're going to talk about what happens if the entire country dissented and how do you get an entire country to dissent. And then there's a mirror that we all have to look into, and we all have to start being very honest with ourselves. And then if you want to stop their power, then you have to take back yours. And there really is only one way of doing that. And we'll also discuss, obviously, the meaning of truth, the true understanding of truth. And that sometimes the truth can be painful, difficult, hard to live with. But we are all big boys and girls, and we should be prepared sometime pretty soon to have a good hard look at ourselves. So this little series called For Your Consideration there will pop up over the next week or so with I'm not exactly sure. I haven't discussed it with Vince yet. We're trying to figure out. In fact, I might bring Vince in so we can have a chat about this, because he's been sitting there in the background and now he's turned his camera on. Hello, buddy.
I shouldn't have turned the camera on, should
I? So we've been talking about a few different ways to deliver this news segment, and we'd like to be able to generate a conversation out of these segments. This will be a pre-recorded thing. It'll only run, in fact, the first segment runs about 3.5 minutes, and I will play it here, not tonight, but we might give it a run tomorrow night maybe, when I've got a few more of them made. I've only got one made at the moment, but I've got 8 prepared. So getting them up and playing them is one thing, but as I discovered today when I sent this to Vince to have a bit of a look at, it does elicit a conversation. Very strong conversation.
Very much so.
So what do we do with that, Vince? Because we are in a position here at the Voice of Freedom where we are hanging on by the skin of our proverbials. We are not lucky enough with our nearly 12,000 subscribers to be getting anywhere near a remotely livable income. The income that we do generate out of YouTube is enough to pay a portion of our telco bill, a portion of it, not all
and
of it.
Our memberships help Carl survive, and that's about it. Just survive too, I might add. Only just. And I don't take anything. So
no, Vince takes nothing, gives a lot. And I try to live as meekly and as mildly as I humanly can. And well, no, let's not go into that.
Excuse me for smoking.
That's all right. I don't live high on the hog, is what I'm saying. So I was told when I first started doing this, and we had discussions about this with various people when I first started doing this, that, oh, Carl, you've got to put up a Patreon site. You know, lots of people will support Patreon and they'll give, you know, a few dollars every week and that kind of thing. Well, I'm wondering whether or not that isn't the way that we should go. And I would like to think that our family here, and you can be sort of independent on this, because what you have a little bit of insight as to, you know, the segment that I'm going to play and the sort of conversation it's going to generate. It will be a strong conversation, and it will be a very good conversation to be either part of or to be listening to. It'll be a very educational conversation, as I hope this whole series will be. But do we keep doing things for nothing? I mean, I have spent quite literally all day today, most of the day yesterday until 2 o'clock this morning, working on getting all the elements together to do this. I also put some work in on it last weekend, but on a separate but the same similar kind of deal, where there is 19 pages of stuff to read and over 70 slides that I've created. Now, that took me most of last weekend, day and night. The bits and pieces that you'll see here have taken me all day today to read and edit, and most of the day and most of the night last night to get all of the pictures together. So to generate 7 cents out of YouTube for putting this up is what I guess we're used to getting. However, is it time that we do bite the bullet now, Vince, and we do try and put on you know, something like a Patreon?
I think that we need to look at, this is going to be a bit of a series that's going to have some pretty heavy conversations behind it, some of which probably don't need to be seen on free air, for one thing. And yeah, if we're going to keep going as an organization, then we need to find other ways to raise funds. Obviously, we're not getting sponsorship. YouTube premium or YouTube paid sense ads is ridiculous. Like, as you said, it barely covers the cost of and even then, not always covers the cost of the StreamYard and the internet
Oh
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe we have to. I mean, love to give all the information and the learning for free, but it's only free while we're on the air, because once we're gone, it's not going to be any more free. You're not going to be able to get it, period.
Yeah.
So, yes,
So
we have to look into it.
What are people saying in the chat? What I mean, because it is you, the family, that we're essentially talking to. We've built this family up, and I've been very strong in my view that I did not want to put, this sort of, or any kind of news behind a paywall, because I know what it's like to be in a position where you can't afford to pay it, or
Like right now.
The ass comes out. Yeah. I don't have it. I'm not on any Patreons because I simply can't afford. I don't know that I'm going to have $5 in my account when they go to take it out. So, that's the sort of situation I'm in, and that's why I don't push Patreon all that much. But really at a loss. I don't know what else we can do. Deb says, however you can make a quid, go for it. Thank you, Deb. Well, every little bit helps, I guess. And it's not like we're gaining 1 million views per show. But this content that we're going to present in the first episodes, if you like, of this, this will probably raise quite a few hackles. I don't know that it's going to get many subscribers, but it's bound to get quite a few views. And as we push forward, do I release one of those once a week? Do I release one every other day? What do I do? Which is the best way to do that? What would the family want us to do? Because I want to do this for you, and I've got to try and keep it going for us as well, to be able to pay things. So Sandy says she pays 2 lots of $10 a month to 2 different Patreon channels. She'd be happy to pay $10 a month. God love you, woman. Thank you so much. The price of freedom? That's a very good quote. The price of freedom. It should be free, but if we all do our bit and contribute to our freedom, yeah, it would be great. Well, listen, if we could get our nearly 12,000 subscribers to donate $1 a month, we'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, we'd be able to pay somebody to actually do promotions of our channel, make it 13.
Well, we were only talking about that today. One of the issues that we have is that neither you or I have the time, or, if I'm honest, for me at least, the knowledge of how to best promote us on social media and how to do TikToks and twat quocks and X things and Insta twats and all that.
Yeah, the amount of time spent, if I do a video or whatever, if I put them onto Rumble, YouTube, and then TikTok and X, etc., just that's not including the time it takes to upload if it's a decent video. It's like it can be a couple of hours of work just to do that.
Yeah.
So, but the other option is that we put it behind a paywall on our own website.
Well, yes, that's true too.
Have access.
Yeah, that's true too. We could put it up that way. So we would like to know your opinions on it, folks. You can email us both, Carl or Vince at vofhq.com. That's Carl or Vince at vofhq.com. And please let us know your thoughts. Obviously, and it's my understanding that things that go on Patreon do get put up on free-to-air stuff down the track. Is that right?
Some people, what they usually do is they'll do a pre-release early for people who are Patreon members, and then later release it on the free-to-air channel. So it might be a week later or a couple of weeks later, or even just 24 hours later. But what's that? The channel pack. I watch the videos. They generally put 20 to 30 seconds, and their half-hour and hour videos are generally a minimum of 1 per week. Yeah. Well, with my not being feeling well for the last week or so, I have not got to the questions thing I want to do, which sort of half relates to what Carl's looking to do here now. So, but even still, on TikTok, Twitter, X, etc., to get into anything that makes money, that you've got to have a certain number of followers and a certain number of likes. I think like X, it's 1 million views on something, and so on and so forth. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is obviously grow our total audience, and that would be between Voice of Freedom and FBN as well. And it might happen that what happens with this For Your Consideration series may not get uploaded to Voice of Freedom. It might just go straight to FBN down the track, if that's what happens. And that, of course, leaves open a second forum for questions and debate. But the first forum would be obviously behind that paywall and the live show, if you like, and the Patreon show. And it would also give you, the viewer, an opportunity to be part of this. Because I think what would happen is we would post up the video initially, the talking point, the thing that lets you know what we're going to be discussing in the show. And if you have a very strong opinion on it, you might want to say that in the show. Well, we'd be happy to have you on. You've just got to let me know and give me an email address. I'll send you a link and you can come and be part of it. This is about discussion. It's not about forcing agendas. It's not about forcing my way or yours. It is hopefully about education. It is hopefully going to teach people that, as I've been saying for many, many moons, we need to be honest first and foremost with ourselves. The truth has to start with us. And from there, it goes out. And hopefully this first series will give you a few tools to help you move in that general direction and make a positive imprint on the world around you. What about super chats? Maybe restrict comments being read out to super chats. Yeah, I don't get enough super chats to I think restrict those sorts of comments. But I'm not sure. Do you know how much YouTube or Google or whoever it is with the super chats do tend to take a chunk of that? I don't know exactly how much, Vince, to you. I think it might be 5%. It might be more than that. They do take a bit of a chunk out of it. So, but certainly if you want to do super chats, that's great. Maybe the one of the easiest ways is through our main website, vofhq.com, and the donate button there. But I understand that some people understand that there is a Stripe account associated with that, so they get a little clip of the ticket on the way past too. I do have some people who put money occasionally into a bank account directly that we have, so if you want to do that, we can supply that as well. But I just thought for ease and everything, it's all available on the website, and if you want to help us, that's great. If you don't, then well, it's not maybe it's not a matter of you don't want to help us, it's just a simple matter of you've got your own pressures in your world at the moment and you can't help us. And I understand that completely. But thank you for anything that you can do. Yes, I agree. Paywalls reduce viewers. And
yeah, me too.
And that's what's always stopped me from going behind a paywall. For that very reason.
There has to be some way, and especially with something like this, that we can get a way of moving forward. It's either through advertising. I mean, I did an ad ages upon ages ago that Carl no longer plays. So he's a naughty boy.
I don't even have it in here anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. It's well and truly gone. But there has to be a way that we can continue to be able to produce stuff for you guys and have this chat and have these bits and pieces without trying to tap into your pockets too much. There must be some businesses out there that need to do some advertising or something along that line. Neither Carl or I want to tap into your pockets, and Carl is terrible at even promoting things. He leaves that up to me to do because I'm the harder ass out of the two of us. So Guys, looking forward to your suggestions. And if you look further back in the chat, you will find there is a link to the cartoon he put up for you to watch too. Matter of fact,
Yes.
I'll put it up again.
There you go. Interesting little cartoon. There is also a number of videos that we made and have only just really found again today. I should dig that up as well. Given we've been having this bit of a chat about sovereignty and, associated other things, I thought it might be worthwhile going back to a lesson that I had with Fitz a long time ago now, where we discussed sovereignty. And I'm just trying to find. There it is. There. So if you want to truly understand the definition of sovereignty, Fitz, I don't think, has ever found anybody who could put it better. So I'm posting that in now. Now, this is a show that goes back 4 years when we first started doing these things. And that lesson will teach you about sovereignty and the Trinity, triangle, all sorts of different interesting bits and pieces. If you haven't seen or have no knowledge of sovereigns, and if you want to learn about sovereign and citizen and the difference between them, then that's a good starting place. Well worthwhile getting across that, maybe before you see what I'm going to release in the next day or two. And we might make that, Vince, tomorrow night in the Friday free-for-all. Is tomorrow Friday?
No, today is Wednesday, Carl. You've lost a day again.
Jeez, there we go. Okay. Well, on Friday
He's been
night,
working that hard, he hasn't slept, so he's missed a day.
I woke up at 7:55 this morning. And that's about 3 hours later than I normally would. But in my defense, I didn't go to bed until 2 o'clock this morning. So,
my time.
Yeah. And I'm getting RSI in my hand and shoulder because I'm not used to. It's been so many years since I've had to de-breath something that I read that ran, nearly an hour long, and clean up all that edit. And tiny little mouse movements, and the whole bloody shoulder and arm and everything's going right up. So I'll be out with me X39 patches tonight, I can tell you, and putting them in, giving my arm a bloody decent rub. I know where you're going with all of that. Don't think about it.
I wasn't going to say a word.
Yes. I would love to. I would love to be able to get a solution to our problem, and I would love our family to help in some way of bringing us toward that solution, because I know there are a lot of very smart people who watch this show, much smarter than me, and they may have alternative ideas that you and I simply have not come up with. So be very happy to hear from anybody.
You could say that the discussion between myself and Carl earlier today was quite vigorous.
Animated, even.
Sorry?
Well,
animated. Yeah, that's a good word. Animated. Yes, it was definitely that.
But can we just point out it was one-sided animated?
Yeah, I was the animated one. He says he wasn't. He's lying, but I was the animated one.
No. Well, I'm not lying, because that would be going completely against what I'm trying to teach. All right? We're trying to teach truthfulness and honesty. So I'm not lying. Not lying at all. But there are certain elements of this that are very confronting until you see and maybe understand, because seeing and hearing all of the elements doesn't necessarily mean you comprehend, as you will hear in these things going forward. And here is the other thing. Now, this segment 1, I'm calling this, if you like, or episode 1, is only 3.5 minutes long, but it is, one segment of 8 segments to do with the same thing. Do we take 8 weeks to put that up? Do we put one segment up every week? Or
Oh yeah. No, it'll be an 8-week job, right? Because just purely from the first segment raised 3 major talking points that I wanted to raise straight off the bat. And you can't say we'll do one segment, have major talking points. That major talking points will go for a week easily.
I believe,
once a week.
yes. So once a week. So we will schedule a new show, maybe on Patreon or something, next week.
Determined.
To be determined. It may well be here. Who knows yet? We haven't figured
or on
it
FBN.
out.
No, we need the numbers here because at least the people here that are here help with the viewership, and that does help with paying the telecom bill. So
Yep, well, that's true. That's very true. Which is due again, can I just add? Don't you love
great.
Telstra?
Thanks for that. I don't think we've got the money to cover that.
No, there is a certain little pile of my silver down here that I'm going to have to go and hit to pay that, I think. So, but that's had a bit of a punish lately too, because I now have 2 brand new working headlights in the bus.
Oh, you did get the second one working.
It's all working very well.
Right,
unfortunately,
now
my brand new steps aren't coming back in, which is a bit of a worry. But we'll figure that out later. There are a couple of issues before I can get the roadworthy for the bus, so that's why I've had to go and sell some silver. And
so, just a quick question: is the Telstra bill over $150?
The Telstra bill is $364.20.
Yeah, we're nowhere near close. We haven't even got half of that.
There you go. So we love Telstra. Best of a bad mob, but what can we do? Anyway, not to bitch, not to moan. It is what it is.
Yes, we are.
And
we're moaning. Let's be fair. We're moaning. We are moaning. We are saying.
Well,
I'm
going to pay it one way or the other. I'm going to pay it one way or the other. So
you don't have much choice if you want to stay on the air.
Yeah, but that's my choice to stay on the air. I could go off the air. I could go back driving limos. Not that there's much of a business in that anymore, I don't think. But I could go back driving something.
I don't think there's much business for any business now in Australia, but that's just my opinion.
Yep, I agree. There might be a business in voiceovers if I'm prepared to go and do them for $5 each, but I find that's just insulting. I'd prefer to give my voice away.
You do every day.
I do every day. So anyway, that's the story of life, the universe, and everything. Thank you for coming on for that quick chat. Is there anything you want to
add? Yes, please check out our merch because Carl will forget. Right. Check out our merch at merch.vofhq.com. I haven't heard from anybody or seen anybody order a hoodie yet. I want to know what these new hoodies are like. I'd buy one myself, but at the moment I can't afford to. So
we're all a bit.
Please check it all out. And for the person who says buy a coffee, right? I think it was Watta, right? Donate for a coffee. We have that option when you donate on our Voice of Freedom website. So
VOFHQ.com.
With that, I say any merch that you order, by the way, off our website now is currently direct shipped. So that means you don't have to wait for poor old Vince to get the orders through to our local supplier to get them printed, whatever. When you order one, it will get direct shipped to you, and it may take up to 4 weeks, but you will get it.
But we've found that it is much, much more rapid. My new hats, which are over here.
Yeah, there aren't any zip-up hoodies yet, Penny. I've got to keep looking. And
that
Penny
turned up in less than 2 weeks, those hats, from order to in the box here, less than 2 weeks. So,
yeah, and I'm wearing the FBN, one of their shirts that we will eventually put up. And I think on the back, if it's going to show, is that right?
No.
Can't see it.
Oh, you can now.
Oh, well.
Yep. There you go. I'd like to thank the people. They know who they are who sent me this hat. That's very good of you. You won't get that on our website. But I just wanted to say I love you dearly and thank you. It's the first time I've seen that. They actually gave me that years ago. Very funny old cat, that one. Anyway, love your work.
From me, because this was an unscheduled visit, I'm just going to ceremoniously say bye.
No waving tonight. All business. All business. All right, well, let's get down to some business. Tim Dwyer has made a pretty interesting post about the Australian Tax Office. A judge has ruled that the ATO is not a legal entity. The undersigned has not been presented with any material facts or evidence that the High Court ruling by Justice J. Callanan in the Mowat versus Chapman, whatever, in the year 2000, agreed that the ATO was not a legal entity, had never been overruled and believes none to exist. And if you are self-employed, you might want to find this of interest. Just a question, what date was the forming of the ATO entered into the parliamentary Hansard? The answer is it can't be found in any parliamentary Hansard, not in any parliamentary Hansard. At law, if a document cannot be produced, it is deemed not to exist. I would go over to Tim Dwyer's Facebook page or maybe to his Rumble channel and have a bit of a look at what Tim's got to say about that. It'd be pretty interesting. There has been an interesting resignation. This man has quit. Who is that man? Well, he doesn't look much like that anymore. These days he looks like that. And he is the anti-corruption chief, Paul Brereton. He has resigned, of course, because there is a large amount of scrutiny over, well, just about everything he wrote a report on, but of a high degree of scrutiny is going into his advice to the OSI regarding the arrest and prosecution of Ben Roberts-Smith. Brereton has been hauled over the coals in estimates in the last couple of days and has chosen to run away and hide, be protected by the public service that he is now so buried deeply into. And hopefully, he will be hoping at least that he is in some way going to be able to escape the microscope that the public are going to be placing on him in the lead up to this Ben Roberts-Smith farce of a trial. Brereton has a lot of questions to answer. And while he has resigned, he has done so while still taking the public money. He hasn't offered to hand any of that back. And I don't expect that he will. He is one of the most dishonorable human beings that we have ever had the misfortune of being allowed to have influence over public office in this nation. He is a disgusting human being, and I look forward to him being fully exposed in the fullness of time, and for Ben Roberts-Smith to be able to exact his right to be given a free trial, be given a fair hearing, and potentially, I've got to be careful, so careful about what I say, and potentially extract a few dollars out of that bastard through a civil court when it's exposed just exactly what this man has done to be treated with such derision by his peers. Goodbye, Brereton. Goodbye. Now, we've been talking a lot about Pauline Hanson. Well, no, less about Pauline Hanson, more about One Nation. And that's the way it should be. We want to talk less about Pauline Hanson, even though there are elements of her that are very important. But the bigger element to One Nation and their importance to this nation going forward is who's coming next and what level of support is One Nation going to be able to garner from the other conservative sides of politics. Now, I don't know if today really was her birthday, and I'm not sure how recent this photo is, but it was posted today, and it does show a remarkably thinner Clive sitting down having a birthday cake treat with the lady herself, Pauline Hanson. Now, if this was a photo taken today, then great. Congratulations. Many happy returns for the day, Pauline. I hope you had a fabulous time. I believe that you were getting on a plane today. Somebody was, oh, no, it's not today. It's the next couple of days. Going to be in Childers on the 28th, doing an event at the pub up there. And I know some people who are going to be hanging out at the airstrip just to come and see the new plane. But it was interesting if this is happening here, and it does appear to be happening in a reasonable real-time format. This isn't years old, this picture. Why are Clive and Pauline chatting? Why are they smiling? Clive has not been usually the bearer of birthday cakes in the past for Pauline. Is he now starting to smell the roses? What's happening with Ralph Babbitt? Because Ralph, while he was elected and still runs under the United Australia Party banner, Ralph's made it quite clear that he doesn't want to go back into that cesspit of a place in Canberra at the end of his term. Could that change if he was to come over to One Nation? Could that be something that Clive is having a bit of a chat about? Clive once tried to buy One Nation from Pauline, offered her a lot of money so that he could take all that over and go forward. And in part, I'm led to believe that this formed a bit of a rift between them. There have been other rifts since that time. However, Pauline has shown nothing, if not the ability to forgive, including sitting down, breaking bread rather than bones with Tony Abbott, one of the key Liberals responsible for getting her falsely arrested, falsely charged, and then found guilty in a Queensland court, where she spent, I think it was 11 or 12 weeks in maximum security for some of it, before winning on appeal and winning unanimously on appeal and being let out. Now, she and Abbott broke bread a couple of years ago, and yes, all is forgiven, all is forgotten. But now Tony Abbott is back. Tony Abbott is back in charge of the Liberal Party. He's been nominated and received the presidency, I believe. And now he's starting to say, well, we need to do more of what One Nation are doing. So once again, Abbott doesn't mind stealing other people's policies. The problem that I have with any of these major parties, these liberal national bastards, is that they have had the ability to fix all this for years. And they didn't. They, in fact, went the other way. They are part of the reason we are in the shit as deep as we are. Thank you very much, Alan, Pipe Master. For your thing. Appreciate it. A coffee and a coffee for Vince. Bloody wonderful. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. These governments and oppositions, these liberal national folks, are part of the problem. They agreed with the legislation, or they didn't fight hard enough against it, that got us into this shit in the first place. Why would you trust anybody? I don't care who's leading it, whether it's Angus Taylor or Andrew Hastie. I certainly would trust less Andrew Hastie these days than maybe I would have previously. I don't believe a word that comes out of that guy's mouth these days, not necessarily because of his actions involving himself in the Ben Roberts defamation trial, where all he could do was report innuendo and rumour. He had no first-hand knowledge. And in fact, then he couldn't wait to get himself out on Facebook and proclaim that he might be called as a witness in this new criminal case against Ben Robert Smith. I seriously doubt he will, because what use is hearsay evidence in a court? Oh, that's right. In case of the Ben Robert Smith trial, it's practically all they've got, hearsay evidence. They don't have any actual evidence, no bodies, no bullets, no blood, just a lot of bum-hurt Special Air Service members, a couple, who were treated poorly, who were bullied. Oh, he slapped me up the back of the head because I was an idiot. Well, no, they leave the because I was an idiot part out. You got to slap up the back of the head because you did something stupid. You just don't want to tell us what the stupid thing was. You got to slap up the back of the head because you put your life and the lives of your comrades in danger. And you don't want to tell us what you did. Andrew Hastie, he didn't want to tell us what he did until somebody else let us know what he did. And that involved a rocket fire mission, I believe, and 2 dead, quite possibly children from memory. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, buddy. Milk for the coffee, $2. Done well. God love you, mate. And thank you for your photos. Send more. Stu sent a couple of pictures that I showed recently from down along the Murray, and he was somewhere else too, somewhere in the Snowies, I want to say. Anyway, send more pictures. If you take beautiful pictures, I'd love to see them. Very, very keen. And in fact, I haven't spoken about it with Vince, but I'm thinking about running a photo competition going forward where we can offer a prize of some gold or some silver to the best photo that you can provide us. There you go. I'm getting a nod of approval from the man who needs to nod and approve these things or nothing happens. So I have a few photos of example that I've taken myself. These are not earth-shattering photos. They're just what I consider to be nice shots. And they can be about just about anything you want to take a nice shot of. If you want to send those through initially to me, carl@vofhq.com, that would be great. But Vince and I will probably set up a photo dump site for you so you can just upload them straight into it and we can go through. Angie, thank you very much for your $5. I'm going to, God, bloody luxury this week. I'm going to have coffee. Oh, shit. I'm going to have breakfast, not just coffee. I'm going to have the whole breakfast. Thank you, Daniel. Actually, I won't be doing that because it'll be going towards the Telstra bill. So appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you very much. And I know that means a lot coming from you because $50 in, firewood goes a long way in Canberra at this time of year. Bloody cold. Anywhere down south is bloody cold. So anyway, yeah, some photos. If you and look, you don't need a big flash camera to take really nice photos. Your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever will take usually very, very good photos. So if you've got an eye for that sort of thing, or you just like to show us your little piece of Australia, then I'd love to see it. And I'm sure many people in the Voice of Freedom family would love to see it. And who knows, if we get enough photos, if we get enough interest, if we get enough people saying nice things about the photos, maybe we'll create a calendar for next year that you can buy through the merch site that has all our photos on it. Am I still getting a nod of approval? Oh, yes, good. I'm still getting a nod of approval from the background.
That's actually a very good idea because we can do that on the merch site already now. So, yeah, excellent idea. Hang on to your photos for a week or so. Let me get something organized first. Carl comes out with these great ideas, but then I've got to organize it. And Jude Kelly, thank you. Now I will disappear again. Once again, no wave.
No wave. We save them for Friday nights. It's a special thing just between Vince and I. It's the only special thing just between Vince and I, just to be sure. All right? Yes, thank you, Jude, for your $20.
What about our friendship, you bugger?
Oh, I beg your pardon. We have that too. It's a very blokey friendship. There's, in a blokey way. Love him dearly. No tongues. Yes, so I love the idea of a calendar, and I've got some photos from my little jaunts around Australia, particularly through Tasmania and Victoria and South Australia, and some from New South Wales. We would have to feature the donkeys, and I do have quite a number of photos of the donkeys. Maybe the prize could be the cover of the calendar. Lee, I love that idea. Well, in a sense, well, yeah, the lead cover could be the big prize, but we might be able to arrange prizes for each of the months that we pick for the rest of the year too. I think that could we possibly get a 13-month calendar? I love that with 28 days per month. I think that would be awesome. Would anybody use it? God, it would be novel, wouldn't it? Geez, you've got me thinking now. Quite like that idea. Yes, Lee, I really like your idea that the first prize could be, in the competition, could be the cover of the calendar. I really like that idea. And of course, you know me, I love pictures. Well, I love all sorts of pictures, but if it's got an animal in it, it's probably going to do pretty well. I guess if you've got cute grandkids and that kind of thing, we would need to think long and hard about putting anything like that in a calendar. I mean, while you might want to show off the grandkids or your kids, and it'd be lovely to do so, I'd be hesitant to do so with little children. If you've got, young adults who are working on the farm and you want to, take some farming pictures or that kind of thing, and they're happy to be involved with it, then yes, great. I don't think that'd be an issue, but try and steer clear of the little ones. I think that might be the safest thing. And animals are just a safe bet, particularly if you are lucky enough to live in an area where you get some pretty reasonable access to some of our more famous fauna and, flora, not so much, although flowers are lovely too. Maybe you're down south in Victoria, New South Wales, you get a lot of wombats in your area. Maybe you don't like wombats because they dig holes and carry on. I would hope that's not the case. Maybe you've got some roos that live out on your front yard morning and night and have sort of learned to call your place home as well. Maybe you've got a friendly koala family living in some trees around you. Maybe you've just got some of the most beautiful views that Australia has to offer off your property or off your balcony. So whatever it happens to be, we would love to see your pictures. And as Vince says, give us a little while, but we'll see if we can get it right. Katrina, thank you for your donation. Charlie, it was the Pope and the Church that removed the old world 13-month calendar and brought out the new 12-month calendar. Yes, it was, Charlie. You are very, very good. Charlie is... very aware, I think, of a lot of the things that we are going to talk about regarding natural and common law. And what we would like to be able to do, folks, is help you understand those things a little bit more too. You may not understand that I might know a little bit more about it than I let on to. So that doesn't mean that I am aligning, and this is in part the reason why I am doing this. I do not want to be aligned or maligned as a sovereign citizen. I would be more likely to assault you for calling me a sovereign citizen because your level of intelligence insults me. If you would think you could call me that and think it was a coherent sentence. I understand that that is not the best way to fight off and put forward my argument. So that's why I've going to go and do it another way for your consideration. Because I refuse to let some imbecile who doesn't understand that calling me a sovereign citizen places my life in danger. And it places my life in danger because of the people situated in authority, in control, because that's a trigger, or they're two trigger words for them. And if you hear sovereign citizen in the same breath as a police officer saying they've got to pull someone up or go and deliver a warrant, you can rest assured that that involves bulletproof vests, high-powered weapons, and quite probably a small tank that can bulldoze its way into your house and deliver tear gas or whatever other kind of poison they want to gas you out with. And that would be overkill in a case like mine. Anybody who calls another person a sovereign citizen these days is putting that person's life at risk. And if you are called a sovereign citizen, you should sue that person for defamation straight away. You should sue that person for putting your life at risk straight away. Because that is what they're doing. Because of the uncontrolled influences we have in the authority circles. Katrina, thank you very much. God, thank you very much for your donation tonight. Wow, you've all hit the super chat tonight. I can't thank you enough for that. Amazing stuff. Thank you. We are getting toward where we can figure ourselves out. You had no idea VOF was having such a hard time with money, Paul. Well, admittedly, it's your first show, or is it your first time in the chat family? But it's not something that I like to talk about. It's not something I like to go on about. But at the end of the day, I don't accept any money from the government. I don't have a job. My job basically sits down here all day trying to get information and break shit down and be discerning enough so that when I do turn this microphone and camera on, I'm not spinning you a whole heap of shit for no apparent reason. If I'm going to do this, then I want you to get quality information, or at least the best that I can deliver. And if I get it wrong, then I promise you I'm going to be the first person to hold my hand up, take accountability for that and say, I am wrong. I was wrong, and try and rectify it to the best of my ability. I'm trying to lead by example, Paul. That is to be accountable for what I say and for what I do, because for many years I wasn't. And it's not a time that I'm very proud of these days in my life. I used to be very proud of it. But these days, I do what I do for you. Not so much for me, although it's a bit like squeezing a pimple for me. I've just got to get it out. But unfortunately, the wherewithal to keep doing this costs money. And that $364, whatever it is, that Telstra demand every month is for a number of things, including, a mobile internet connection, a hard connection, an iPad, and a few other bits and pieces. The iPad's got cracked screen in it now, so I can't use that at the moment. One day I'll figure out how to get that replaced, but that's another item down the track. Because I move around a lot, it's difficult to keep a lot of things protected. So what we do is, we get through a lot of gear, a lot of stuff. Shit breaks. It's not meant to live the way that I live. So some stuff we can do without, some stuff we can't, and we've got to replace. And when you don't have a steady stream of income that comes in every week, when you don't get paid by the government every fortnight, then it gets pretty tough. And Vince is right. I don't like talking about it. I find it quite embarrassing. And I guess it comes down to, as people have said to me before, I'm just grateful that you get something out of this. I'm still surprised that you do and that so many people do. I'm just so grateful and thankful that I have been able to build a family here that hasn't just helped me, hasn't just helped my daughter, but is helping other members of that community. And Greg Watha is just the most recent recipient of that. And, he'll receive a bit more love than this weekend when we all go and have lunch with him on Saturday at the Sundowner up at Caboolture. We'd love you to come. If you're in the southeast corner of Queensland, I know if you want to come from further afield, you're more than welcome to. I'm not sure that Lynn will come all the way from Chinchilla, although she did drive to Airlie Beach. But if you want to come, we would love to see you. 12:30 on this coming Saturday at the Sundowner Hotel Motel in Caboolture. That means if you are coming a long way and you want to have a few beers, you can actually stay there. Book a room, stay there. Don't do the drinking driving thing. And we'd love to catch up. And I'll stay as long as the party's going, so to speak. Greg will be there. I know that Connie and Alan are coming. Big Bear's coming. Fuzzy's coming. Not sure about Margie yet. I'll have to make that phone call. I think Paul's coming. There are a few other folks that are popping along. Silver Fox, you got $270 ahead for the lambs. Taught yourself to share in the last 2 months while listening to my live stream. Mate, thank you. A leg of lamb, shit, I'd put it towards that in a heartbeat, except I don't think I've got anything in here I could cook it with. My oven's not up for that, I don't think. But, oh, mate, thank you so much. Leg of lamb. Oh, drooling now.
And just to add to it, I know Silver Fox is doing it tough as well.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. $270 a lamb today. That's pretty good pricing for lamb, I would have thought. I've been watching a young lady who's a sheep grower in Victoria. Just been watching her randomly on and off. I like to see, particularly in Victoria, I like to see what the farmers are doing, because they have so many pressures put upon them by their local government, but the federals as well. And Glenrowan, which is in northeastern Victoria, north central Victoria, the Glenrowan West group are another group who are putting up the fight to try and stop the forever growing, expanding solar empires. So these international companies are looking at more solar and battery stations that they want to put into the Benalla, Glenrowan West area. Anybody who's driven down the Hume Highway heading towards Melbourne around through that area will have driven past a field of solar panels. It's just awful. That is what that field of solar panels looks like from the sky. All that productive farmland, and there's also wine growing land down in that part of the world as well, all covered by these solar panels, which all have a good deal of silver in them, up to about 4 ounces of silver, depending on the size. It could even be bigger. That is about the only thing of interest for me, because when those things stop working and when people start being screwed over by the governments to a point where they've really had enough and they're going to go and get money or things of value come hell or high water, I would encourage anybody in serious need to start looking at those broken down solar panels as a great form of getting a bit of silver. If you need help figuring out how to get the silver out of the solar panel, we have a man. His name is Rolly, and he lives over on Russell Island as well. He'll help you how to do that. He knows all about how to do that. And in fact, we might be able to shoot over and have a day recording with Rolly. We were talking about it on the boat, where we see the process of how you leach, if you like, the silver and gold out of electronics and a few other pockets. Speaking of silver and gold prices, silver at the moment, 105.07. It's been up as high as 109 earlier today, I think it was. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. There is a huge amount of pressure on the markets at the moment because of what's going on in America, and more particularly in Iran. America has broken its own ceasefire with a preemptive self-defensive strike. Just a few contradictions. It looks like there are two forms of control or leadership, if you like, in Iran at the moment. There is the political side with the old Ayatollah's son supposedly maintaining power on one leg and a battery somewhere in a deep hole underground. And then there is the IRCG, or whatever they're called, the Iranian Republican Guard, who are essentially in control of what little is left of their navy. And a couple of those Navy speedboats were blown out of the water last night by US jets. They were apparently seeding the water with more mines. The Americans took this as an attack against their shipping interests in the Gulf, and there were some warships in the Gulf at the time. Iran took the blowing up of those two boats poorly and fired some missiles, some anti-ship missiles, at a couple of the US ships, which were intercepted and destroyed. So that was enough to trigger the markets into a bit of a conniption, and more over the next 24 hours. So don't be panicked. Don't be worrying. I think the last thing we're going to see is huge plummets in gold and silver. It might get down to 75, and well, it is 75 US dollars at the moment. It might get down to 73, but I don't think it's going to stay there long. Thank you to Synchronicity Show, $7.99. Love your work. I'm guessing, well, I don't know how much you put in, but that's seems an interesting number. So I'm wondering if that's the clip on the way past. What else do I have here for you? I don't think I've got much else here tonight. No, we've talked about the Sundowner. It looks like it's a lovely place. That's one of the bars in the Sundowner. This is the indoor eatery area, but there is a magnificent outdoor eatery area. And the Sundowner does a thing called Parmageddon, which is that. $28 for chicken schnitzel. If you want the Outback, it's $37. A Parma is $32. The Queenslander, geez, that better have pineapple on it, for $38. And then their own version for $34. I reckon it's pretty reasonable for a good Parma these days, or a good I'm a Parmy kind of guy. Are you a Parmy or a Parma person? I don't know. One of those Australianisms that we're going to have to sort out while we have lunch this Saturday at the Sundowner in Caboolture. Look forward to seeing you there if that is the case. And if you can't join us, well, I'm sure I'll take a video and we'll share a bit of that next week while we're going around. I'm going to love you and leave you tonight, folks. Have yourself a bloody good one, and keep an eye out. We will be putting up something for your consideration in the not too distant future. Go and have a look at the little cartoon. It'll give you an idea of where we're heading. And share. Please share, folks. The cartoon is cute, but the cartoon is real. The cartoon provides you solid information. If you have questions, email carl@vofhq.com, or better still, be around when we delve further into it for your consideration in the coming days. Be safe on the roads. Watch out for the dickheads. Good night.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's rock!